Welcome to the Coeus Collective podcast, New York Tech Week Special Edition, hosted here at the front yard at Pace University. We are here with
Drew Magner, PreonTV.com.
Preon TV. Sounds like something that starts a TV show. It's because it is, right?
Well, it is all about watching TV. We are revolutionizing the way that people watch TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on. Coeus Collective is a really awesome thing that you guys are doing. I love what you're doing. You're disrupting, you're supporting founders, especially in the digital age, right? The digital generation. And that matches up almost exactly with what I'm doing with Preon TV. So, you guys might be a couple years younger than me, but as you probably know, as the generations go on, people are more and more distracted. We're all attached to our phones, right? I think something like 95% of people that watch TV have their phone in their hand. 83 are constantly going back and forth. So what I'm doing with Preon TV is I'm creating the perfect second screen experience to have along while you're watching TV, right? So that comes with a lot of things, but I can tell you, I could start with where the idea came from.
Yes.
And take it from there.
Yeah. How did it come from? The moment you thought of it, and like, what's the problem you're trying to solve?
Exactly. So let me walk you through a problem that everybody has, right? Let's say it's been a couple of weeks, years, months, whatever, since the last episode of TV that you watched, your favorite Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, what have you. Sometimes it's like 2 years before they release new seasons. You get all excited for it. You got your hot meal in front of you. You sit down, you start watching, comes on, you have no idea what's going on, right? You're like, who is this person? What are they talking about? Did I miss something? Is this even the next episode? Did I not watch the last season? You don't know, and that leads to interrupting your viewing experience. So then you have to go find a YouTube video, 20 minutes of listening to some teenager talk about something that maybe spoiling stuff or too much opinion over analysis. It's annoying. Or you go search Google, you wind up getting spoiled for something that, is going on later.
Right.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating a place for answering all your questions right away. And I'm doing it because it's a product that I need. I had this idea a long time ago, before I ever thought about being a founder. And I even kind of started getting it rolling, but the business wasn't there for me yet because it would have relied heavily on user inputs and stuff like that, and which is not a great business plan. So I kind of put it to the side a little bit, but every year since then, every time I'm watching TV, I'm like, I need my app. I'm not remembering something, even, for a lot of people, me, episode to episode, I just watched it and I'm like, wait a minute, what are they talking about? Who is this guy? I want some quick references really quick, and nobody was making it. And then what happened was I came across a little bit of time in my schedule last year and a couple of other things, which I'll get into. And I realized nobody still built this app. I still need it. And the market couldn't be more prime for it. I guess let me tell you a little bit about how that transformation happened. So I'm 17 plus years in production world, TV, film, video production. And I was working a corporate event for a company called Airtable. It was called Daretable Conference.
Oh, wow.
You know Airtable, right?
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know anything about Airtable, Daretable, what it was or anything. I'm just sitting there working cameras behind the scenes, and this woman comes on who's a no-code expert, UX expert. Her name's Carla Fernandez. Didn't know anything about her either, but she starts talking about how easy it is to make apps in the no-code world. And before I know it, I have my phone on me and I'm taking pictures of her seminar through my camera lenses and stuff like that, and being like, I could do this. This is not far-fetched for me to make, because the idea behind it doesn't take too much. It's a low-tech app, it's a information database, rather than any, the advanced features get a little crazier as we get, but what we're talking about, that basic stuff, it's just information as easily, that with the least amount of clicks to get to what you want to know, right? So I started looking up things like Figma, which I never heard of, Bravo and Airtable, and and just a lot of this stuff and realizing like what's going on in the no code world. So that learning about kind of, you know, how easy it could be. It's not as easy as she said it was, but how easy it could be to make an app, right? Realizing that nobody's made my app yet, and kind of reinvigorated me to like relight the fire and get things going, right? So I wrote out this really long business plan. I started with a pitch. I had a pitch deck that was an hour long.
Wow, an hour long?
Yeah, I never did anything like
a
that.
visual pitch deck that was an hour
It was
long?
like 30 slides,
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
goodness.
I had my buddy, who's actually my co-founder now. He has had multiple successful startups that have sold to like JP Morgan and stuff like that. He's my co-founder, my CTO now. But he was nice enough to indulge me in my first ever pitch and tell me what was going wrong and stuff. It was an hour long, so it was way off, you know, as far as what needed. But I've refined it. I've got it in less than 4 minutes now, and a much different deck than what it was. But yeah, so that was the beginning of my journey. Everybody's been so kind to help me out. I've actually reached out to that woman, Carla. She's been really nice. And I let another friend of mine in the startup space know what I was doing, and he hooked me up with a guy named Gene Murphy, who's actually the co-founder of Founders Boost. It's a pre-accelerator program, right? And he's been really kind to kind of hold my hand a little bit and tell me what I need. I went to have a meeting with him, and I'm about to start talking. He's like, let me stop you right there. I'm sure your idea is good. I'm sure it's bad. I mean, I don't care about your idea. What's your strategy? What's your go-to-market strategy? And so it's a combination of all these people basically taking advice anywhere I can get it. And it's been about 6 months, and I have some beta projects going. And the biggest announcement that I have right now is that we just dropped our first competitive trivia, when the first prize is going to win a projector. Now,
Oh wow, let's go. Let's go.
yeah, competitive TV trivia, which is another part of the app. So let's walk back a little bit. First of all, are we any questions so far?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just thinking about this whole structure. I think I may have asked you this when I met you the first time. Why an app?
Why?
You know, because there's certainly the concept of app fatigue, right? And then you are primarily non-technical, right? Non-technical in the standard way of
Yes.
saying it with engineering and programming.
Absolutely.
So the concept of utilizing an app, right, to be able to make this happen rather than, you know, taking all the information that you do or these information sources and putting it into
Yeah.
a better form of a YouTube video or something like that, right? Why an app? Yeah.
Exactly. So something I was touching upon earlier is that what we see in this next age, this distracted age, is that people already have their phones in their hands, and they're going to their phones to search for information, and they're not finding it as quick as they need it. So I'm aiming to have whatever your question you have while watching right in your hand, whatever your experience is. So of course video recaps will be right there, but one thing that's important to me is like, what song's playing right now? Right there on the app. Who's this character? Right there on the app. What are they wearing? Where can I buy it? Right there on the app.
Shoppable component.
Shoppable
Let's go.
components.
I remember
And-
that, Drew.
yeah, and there's little things like the more I speak to people, and it's very customer centric. I want to make it for the people that are going to be using it, right? So every time somebody comes to me and they'll be like, what about this? It's either that's already a part of it, which is 99% of the time, or if it's something that I haven't thought of yet, and like a bunch of people say, you know, that's what they want, you know, that's going to be part of it too. So we also talked about like disrupting, right? Do you guys use IMDb?
Yeah,
Of
of course.
Right?
Of course.
Well, what do you use it for?
Just finding what actors I've seen this person somewhere. Where other films have been, you know?
Exactly. 99% of people, I made that statistic up, but I've never heard anybody say a different answer than what you just said.
Yeah.
Who's that person? What have they been in? And even for that experience, they're not perfect at it because you wind up scrolling through. And that, again, is going to be a very small part of what I do. But that industry, what they've done, they have over 2 billion active users a year constantly coming through their app doing exactly what they do. I do it too. And they're making something like 200, 300 million a year or something like that, doing all this kind of business. And they're not even doing it, in my opinion, that well. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that, every other thing that you might think while you're watching TV, putting it in a better platform.
Now, do you plan on expanding from just television into film, perhaps?
Absolutely.
And if down the line, because, personally, for me personally, there's one shirt that I've been trying to find. The Now You Catch Me If You Can, Leo DiCaprio, orange Italian knit shirt. I've been trying to find it. I really want it. I still can't find it up to this day. So if you could help me with that, that would be much appreciated.
I'll get on that after we stop recording, and hopefully I can get it really quickly. Because I have some ideas how to find it already.
Of course. So when you said you're 6 months in, where do you see this expanding more than just television?
Yeah. So at first, with any good lean startup, we need to focus in, right? Mm-hmm. We need to start with very small communities. So I can't have my net too big. I need to make sure that my experience is getting perfected in a very small way. Right. So not even just all of TV. I'm going to start with just some one tight-knit community, stuff that has new shows coming out, see how they respond. But yeah, eventually, not even eventually, maybe just quickly down the road, I want to hit franchises, Star Wars. Here's the thing about Star Wars, especially with Mandalorian and the Boba Fett series that's coming out. I don't know where in the timeline they are, and that's going to be a thing on Preon. It's where are we in this timeline? And I want to know. It's all right, this is before Boba Fett, but after Episode 3, but before something else, before this guy dies, and very very specific questions,
Right.
And like I was saying, as a person who needs the app, I'm watching TV and I'm this is what I need to know right now when I'm watching this. So yeah. So franchises are going to be huge for that. Movies will be really good for it. Definitely. The main earlier stuff that I thought about, or the main, so it's Preon, stands for previously on. It's the TV recap app, right? That's my main focus. But it's, as I'm saying, it's way more than recaps now. So for movies and stuff, it'd have to have a universe before it, or a continuous universe. If it's one movie that stands alone, maybe not too much to know beforehand, right?
Right.
In fact, if it's episode 1, season 1 of a series, their first page is going to be just watch the episode, dude. You don't need to know anything, right? But as it goes on, everything changes. But we're pivoting properly to what people want, and it's not so much knowing what happened beforehand. A lot of people want to know what they just watched. They want opinions and analysis, and that's going to be all part of it too, in a very curated way. That's what we're doing. We're not in the content creation business. We're in the content curation business.
Huh.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, curation is creation.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've seen that a lot. I think early Instagram, not really Instagram right now. It's very personality focused, but early Instagram really did focus a lot on that curation component. I think, even on TikTok, the slides, the usage of slides is also becoming really popular, right? Moving from a, video first model into something that does include a lot of photos too. So that could be something for your social media. But I am interested in a question about, what do you think about why somebody would utilize Preon, right?
Yeah.
Is it about remembering at that moment, or could it also be used to rediscover what it means to be a part of something, right?
Yes.
For me, I think about this past season of The White Lotus, which was just so crazy,
Yes.
and so beautiful, and I'm so happy that
Don't spoil it. I haven't watched the last.
I'm not gonna say anything, but Mike White is just a genius, and I'm so glad he's gonna be on season 50 of Survivor.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it's just I could see myself maybe going to Preon to just bring myself back to Thailand.
Community interaction, is that what you got?
Yeah. So who is this being built for specifically?
Absolutely. It's being built for the people that want to be a part of some kind of community, whether it is to answer questions or to back up what they're already thinking. And that's another thing. The fan community, when I first had the idea, wasn't part of it per se, but I realized that's what people want. They want to talk to each other, and they want to have, I don't want to talk too much about some of the secret sauce about what I'm making, because what makes it really special, and we'll find out. Follow preontv.com, be an early subscriber to get all that information as it comes out. But one of the things is how people will be able to talk about things that are going on, the way that it's placed in front of you. So it's like, let's just go back to something like Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding, right? Infamous scene, right?
Yes.
So people want to know exactly what people's reactions were, like a comment thread just on maybe that scene or something like that, you know, centric not just on the show, not just on the episode. Maybe there's like some more specific things going on there, you know? So it's about, again, taking what's kind of already out there that's spread across, you know, way too many places and bringing it into one community, one space, one app.
Yeah, speaking of, like, I remember after Game of Thrones, any of those key moments, I would love. There was like this YouTube where people were at a bar. Everybody knows that reactions at a bar or something like that. These in-person immersions are popping up everywhere in New York. You know, Squid Games. They just launched a store. Like all these, like
I did it.
Harry Potter. Yeah, exactly.
I've done like all of those. Honestly.
Yeah,
My girlfriend
so-
loves that stuff.
yeah,
like
so-
literally all of them.
So like translating TV into immersive experiences.
Yes.
Is that something down the line you are building in terms of community?
I wouldn't even say down the line. I'd say it's something I'm kind of focused on. Immersive as in person, maybe not so much yet, but like but immersing yourself in the community in a different way, you know, is definitely something that's important.
And that's great. I mean, New York is the place to be too. You have so many people that you can be with. People are keen to be social. I mean, the go-to-market strategy for you could be just the concept of creating a community.
Exactly.
You know, that's an IRL community too.
Yeah, that's great. And to touch on that too, something that I haven't really talked about, but I did mention I just dropped my first competitive TV trivia quiz. Half of what I'm doing is what I told you about. If you don't know enough about what's going on, you need Preon. But if you do know everything what's going on, if you're an avid member of that TV community, test your knowledge. Compete with our trivia on PreonTV.com. Competitive TV trivia to prove that you are the #1 fan of your show, right? And that's going to be more exciting because what we've done is we've taken the information and the experience and we've gamified it too.
Yeah.
So it's half of we don't know anything and half of we know everything. And both have community interactions and that kind of thing. See how much, you know, not just with the whole world, but see how you rank up against your friends, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Plus, it's been a while since we've had a good quiz experience, probably since like HQ, right?
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
Gosh,
Oh,
HQ.
she was so.
Wow. You just brought me back in time.
Yeah, that was really fun. But I do want to point out, you know, TV. Can't talk about TV these days without saying streaming. How has the streaming business impacted what you're trying to build here? Because, for example, I believe on Prime Video they have that when you pause it, it does show the person on
X-ray.
there.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah. Can you speak a bit more about that?
So X-ray actually started coming out at the same time that I was full-fledged in this, but very early stage. And it did not deter me one moment, because it proves that there's a market for what I want to do. And what I'm doing is, in a sense, a white label X-ray. It's platform agnostic. That's another thing. There's your Hulus, your Netflixes, your Prime Videos. They're all across a bunch of different places with a bunch of different, you know, you might not look at your Apple TV for months or years and miss a whole bunch of stuff going on. But if you're one centric place, that's your TV viewing place, is going to make your experience better with all that. And it's going to stop user drop-off too, viewer drop-off rather, because you're going to know when those things are coming up because it's your shows. There's apps out there that do show tracking, let me just take a step back. X-Ray does basically just who the character is, but not really too in depth. They're kind of starting to touch a little bit of like a little bit context backstory, but again, not really to the level that we're going to have it. There's tracking. There's like tracking apps out there. There is apps for like the kind of like buying stuff a little bit, but they're not really seeing a big
I haven't
uplift
seen it
at
anywhere.
all. Exactly. You haven't heard of them. You haven't heard of this tracking app that I know. And these guys, these tracking app, they're getting a couple million people, monthly active users a month.
Wow.
But you still don't know about them because they're only focusing on one little piece of the puzzle. It's like a lot of these guys, you know, that are doing similar things are just not doing it good enough, or they're focusing too much on one part of it. We're bringing it all together. The one perfect place to do it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you are clearly very passionate about the TV space, clearly very passionate about Preon. But I'd like to ask you, as someone who's, you've been in production for a while, there's a concept of legacy, right? And it's not just about Preon. It's not just about the state of the TV industry. It's about Drew. It's about yourself. It's about Drew.
Me.
What would you like your legacy to be?
Oh, that's easy. That's very easy. I want to say that since a young person, I've always had ideas. I've always said, this is what the world needs. Why isn't this part of the world yet? And as I grow up as just an idea person, I've seen a lot of those ideas take shape and become something and affirm that what I've been thinking is right. Preon was an idea that I've had for years, as I mentioned earlier, that I'm now, for the first time, going full into it to make something happen, to make an idea that I know is going to be something based on all the things I've been saying, all the other companies that are doing little bits of what I'm doing. It's definitely a huge market gap, a huge space. My legacy is taking that, making Preon a household name, so that when you're looking for that information, those TV recaps or what have you, that you're going to Preon. You're going to remember Preon, previously on the recap app.
Amazing. And if you could describe Preon in one sentence, or actually pitch Preon to us in 10 seconds.
In 10 seconds.
Yep.
Preon is the perfect second screen experience for watching TV. We're revolutionizing TV. It's everything you need to know in one place. Preon, previously on PreonTV.com.
Awesome.
Love it. And
for New York Tech Week, being in the now, how has New York Tech Week influenced your network, and what have you been up to this year?
Oh, it's been fun. First time doing Tech Week, as we all know, that I'm kind of new to the founder space, about 6 months in, so I wasn't ready. But I'm doing 2 to 3 events a day, hardcore networking, going to different talks, panel discussions, fireside chats. Yesterday I went to agent.ai builder thing where you built your own AI agent that was, and I built a little one just for Preon where I could just type in, this episode, this series, this episode, season, and then it pumped out like a lot of information that I would need, that I would put in there. Pretty cool stuff. Networking has been awesome. I got put into this really awesome group chat invited to. That's just tons and tons of people that are really excited about being with each other and hoisting each other up and being part of each other's platforms. Networking in general, not just Tech Week, because Tech Week is networking overload, but networking in general. Everywhere I go, as far as event spaces go or networking goes, you need to learn how to get something out of it. And every conversation, I'm never trying to be like, I'm bored, this is boring, this isn't what I wanted. I'm saying, all right, what can I get out of this to make it better? What can I take from what I've learned these last 2 hours that I've spent at whatever the event is and apply it to what I'm doing? And I think that mentality has been insane for my product. And like I haven't had time because I'm going all over the place, but I know I have like a list of action items that I'm going back to adjust my look and my feel and my plan and the way I'm going to talk to people, has been constantly adjusting. Every time I have my little pitches with every, random person, I'm like, all right, I said a little bit too much here. I said not enough here. I forgot to mention this, and everything, just refining those moments. And hopefully I don't imagine I'll come across an investor that's going to be like, boom, yeah, we love your idea. Here's all the money. But I think that what I'm doing is I'm making connections. That's what we're all doing. We're making connections, and eventually it's going to spark that one warm intro that gets you to the right person that is just as interested in your idea as you are and wants to be a part of that project. And I assume, we don't need a lot of money to make this thing happen. Like I said, it's a low-tech platform. The information's out there. We're curating, not creating. And so like I see the network is growing. The people are excited. Everybody that I've talked to about this idea say, oh, I need that app. Like, and then those, like, immediately after I say that whole thing about, like, you sit down to watch TV, they're like, oh my God, I could have used this the other day when I was watching this show. Or like, I needed this when I was watching this show. I'm like, yeah, you need it. We all need it. You didn't know you needed it until I told you about it. And now what's going to happen is you're going to go back to watch your favorite show. You're going to be in the middle of the show. You're going to have that question and you're going to wish Preon was on your phone right there, which is why you're going to download PreonTV.com.
Amazing. And let's just close it out by asking you to describe your New York Tech Week experience in one word.
Oh, in one word, in the nicest way possible, overwhelming.
and maybe a sentence, so I don't get to elaborate on
Yeah.
it. So a sentence is
So much going on constantly, and just trying to make sure you get the best out of everything you do. It's a little overwhelming, but it's exciting.
amazing.
Awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time today, Drew. Shout yourself out. Shout out Preon. Where can everybody learn more and use the
Yeah,
platform?
Drew Magner, PreonTV.com, but also if you want to stay informed on upcoming competitions and just releases that we're doing, you can also follow Preon TV on Instagram, on Twitter, and even on LinkedIn if that's your thing. So join the revolution. Like, let's go, baby.
All right. Let's go, baby. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome.
Awesome, dude. You're such an engaging